Hi there, my name is Paul Hesman, and I'll be your instructor for this communication class. I'm originally from the city of Johannesburg in the Republic of South Africa. I'm of mixed extraction. My mom is of Indian descent and my dad is Italian. We grew up in a relatively poor household with very little. In fact, my mom never went to school, could not read or write. I remember living in a two-room house, my earliest memories. Not a two-bedroom house, but a two-room house. And in the front room, we had an old coal stove, and Mom would cook on that coal stove. And I vividly remember that she would heat the water on it, and that she'd pour the water into these galvanized tubs. And that's where we would take our bath. So we were poor, had very little. I have 5 brothers and 1 sister. My youngest brother and sister both live here in the States. My sister is in Wilmington. She's a magistrate there. My brother is a graphic artist here in Greensboro. I have vivid memories of growing up in an apartheid South Africa where if you were of mixed descent, you were discriminated against. So those who were black, of mixed descent, of Asian extraction, of Chinese extraction, were all discriminated against in the old South Africa. My memories of my childhood were relatively happy. That's what I remember. Grew up poor, but didn't realize it. Mom did her best, and she made sure that her children got what she never received, and that is an education. And so education was highly valued in our home. I was the first to finish up high school and the first to go on to the local university, Wits University, where I studied a Bachelor of Commerce degree, hoping to become a certified public accountant, what they call in South Africa and in the British world, a CA or a chartered accountant. From 82 through 84, that's what I pursued, and then I had the wonderful opportunity of coming to study here in the States. So in July of 1984, I left South Africa. I'd never traveled outside the country, never got on a plane. This was my first time in an airplane as well. Arrived here in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and went to a local college, and it was amazing. I felt right at home. It was a small college. It was a very family-oriented college. People looked out for me. I felt like I was a part of the community. It was awesome. I pursued a Bachelor of Theology degree. In 1985, I met Penny Jameson of Martinsville, Virginia, fell in love, and 2 years later, in 1987, we got married. We both graduated in 1988, and in July of 1988, we moved to Eden, North Carolina, in Rockingham County, where I took up a leadership position in a local church, and we spent the next 7 years there. It was an amazing time of growth for both of us. During that time, our daughter Catherine was born in 1993, and during that time, I pursued a graduate degree, a master's degree, at the University of North Carolina, Greensboro, and so did Penny, my wife, pursue her master's in education. In 1994, we decided we'd take a trip back to South Africa. For Penny, it would be the first time, and for me, it would be the first time in 10 years. And so we went with our daughter Catherine, who was a year old, and it was an amazing time to be back in South Africa. Nelson Mandela had just been elected as the first freely, democratically elected president. It was the first time that my mom could vote. You see, Asians and the black community were not allowed to vote under the old apartheid regime. There was a stillness, a quietness. There was a peaceful revolution from white-only rule to a democratically elected government. And we realized that we wanted to be involved in South Africa. We wanted to be involved in leadership development. So we came back to the States. I resigned my position and went to Dallas, Texas to pursue a second graduate degree, a Master of Theology degree. And during that time, from 95 to 98, I taught speech communication at North Lake College in Irving, Texas. And I fell in love with teaching speech. I fell in love with teaching at the college level. Finished up with my Master of Theology degree in 1998 and returned back to the Southern Virginia, North Carolina area and bought a house in Martinsville, Virginia. We're close to my wife's family, and it was for the next 4 years, it was awesome. I taught speech communication at ECPI University. We were close to Penny's family, close to my brother and sister. And then in 2002, we decided to move to South Africa. and we spent the last 16 years in South Africa. It was in South Africa that my first son Josh was born in 2003, and then later in 2006 Michael was born. We were involved in leadership development in the disadvantaged communities, lower socioeconomic communities. So I was teaching speech communication, some theology courses. I was teaching computer literacy, and we had an awesome time. Our family pretty much grew up in South Africa. We returned back to the States in 2018, and I took up a position at Wake Tech, teaching public speaking and interpersonal communication. So this is actually my third year, the beginning of my third year at Wake Technical Community College. We relocated from the greater Raleigh-Durham area to Greensboro, so I travel twice a week to teach. And with COVID-19 these days, I don't travel as much. We're all sequestered, we're all quarantined to some degree or another. So that's a little bit about me. If you have any questions, would like to know some more about me and my background, I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much. Bye.